To write equivalent equations here, we might, to get equivalent equations, we do that by multiplying both sides by the same number, dividing both sides by the same number, adding, subtracting the same number on both sides. So here, because we have two decimal places here, I want to move the decimal point 2 places to the right, so I will multiply the entire equation by 100 on both sides. So 100 here and 100 here, and the 100 should be distributed to each term on the right side. So this will be 50 x squared plus 100 x is equal to 125. So this is an equivalent equation of this. Because this is a quadratic equation, let me get the right-hand side equal to 0. So I will subtract 125 from both sides. So 50 x squared plus 100x minus 125. So this is the first equivalent equation. This is the second equivalent equation. And now we see that each constant here, 50, 100, and negative 125, all of them are divisible by 25. So I will divide both sides by 25. So this is 2x squared, 100 divided by 25 is 4. And this is 5. Okay, that's the third equivalent form. And then we solve it. We factor it. 2x can be split into 2x times x. We ignore 4x for the moment, and now we split negative 5 into two numbers, negative 5 and positive 1. But if you FOIL it, this with that, you will not get the middle term. So in this case, what I'm going to do, seems that factoring is not, we cannot do that with whole numbers maybe. So let's do the quadratic formula. So to remember the quadratic formula, we have ax squared plus bx plus c. We want to solve this equation. So we can do that with the quadratic formula. So basically x is negative b plus or minus square root, the square root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. So with that, we can solve this equation. So in this case, a is 2, b is 4, c is negative 5. And now we plug in these numbers here in the equation. So we have negative 4 plus or minus 4 squared minus 4 times a times c, 2 times 2. So x is equal to negative 4 plus or minus. We have this is minus and minus, this becomes a plus. So we have 16 plus 4 times 2 times 5, that's 40, divided by 4. So x is negative 4 plus or minus 56 divided by 4. So these are the solutions of this equation. We can find approximately what these numbers are with a calculator. So for the second equation, this one, we want to get equivalent equations. So let's first multiply by the LCD. Write this. Okay. I will multiply by the LCD, the least common denominator. So x minus 1, this is a prime. I cannot factor this further. I cannot make it something times something. I cannot find the common factor. So that's x minus 1 is x minus 1, basically. And x is just x. We cannot factor that. The LCD, I cannot find any common factor here. So you cannot say it is x. because the factor at the top here is x minus 1, the entire thing. So basically, I will take both of them, so x and x minus 1. And this LCD will be multiplied on both sides, x times x minus 1. And here, x times x minus 1, and also here. And now the cancellation, cancel the x here. So we left with 2 times x here, 2x minus, and here we left with 4 times x minus 1. And finally, here we left with a 3x times 3 times x minus 1. So that's the first equivalent equation. And now let's distribute 4 and distribute 3. So we get 2x minus 4x. And now we have minus 4 times negative 1, so that's plus 4. So you need to be careful here about distributing this negative 4 to each term. Negative 4 multiplied by negative 1, that's positive 4. And here we distribute 3, so this is another equivalent equation of this. And now let's get the terms that involve x on one side. So, okay, let's negative 2x, subtract these, plus 4, 3x minus 3. Let's add 2x to both sides, so this will be 5x. If we add 3 to both sides, this would be 7. So this is another equivalent equation. Now divide both sides by 5, x is 7 over 5. So this is another equivalent equation, which is the solution. So we got many equivalent equations to the original one. And at the beginning, we should have said that x cannot be 1, because 1 will make the denominator 0, and we cannot divide by 0. And x cannot be 0. And at the end, we got x equals 7 over 5. It is neither 0 nor 1, so that's fine. So this is the solution of this equation.